Hi, welcome to the Purls and Polish podcast tutorial edition. I'm your host Rachel, and today I'm going to show you how to do the German twisted cast-on. Now, this cast-on has several different names, but that's probably the most common. This cast-on is very similar to the long tail, however, it has a couple extra steps so that you can have some extra stretch in your cast-on. This is great for things like socks or hats where you just need some extra stretchiness, and it's one of my favorite cast-ons. So, supplies you will need is your yarn and your needles. I'm using circular needles since that's what I have the most of, but this method works great with straights or DPNs as well. So as a reminder, our yarn that is closest to the tail or the cut end is called the tail, and the yarn that is closer to the ball or the rest of your working yarn is called the working yarn. So I'm going to get this set up. This is very similar to the long tail cast on, and if you haven't seen that video, I'm going to link it above and you can go check that out. The only difference is we're going to add a couple extra steps to make sure we have enough twist. So I'm going to show you at speed first and then I'll break it down. I'm doing this without a slip knot since that's my preferred method, but you can add a slip knot at your beginning if that is what works best for you. So this is the cast on I use when I'm doing cuff down socks because it gives me enough stretch to get my cuff done and be able to fit it over my foot, but still look nice and neat. So how do you do the German twisted cast on? We're going to do very similar to the long tail. We're going to take our tail and it's going to be over our thumb. Our working yarn is over our pointer finger. We're going to hold our needle in the right hand with our right pointer finger holding everything in place. And we're going to go to the left. This is where the extra steps comes in. Instead of going up through this hole like we do with the long tail, we're going to go under both yarns and then dive down into that hole. We're going to go to the right of the pointer finger yarn like we do in the long tail. Grab that. And then I'm going to see if I can twist my hand around. This little X that's right here, we're going to slide between that. And that's going to give us another little twist. Don't worry, we're going to walk through this many times. We're going to go to the left of the thumb, under both yarns, and dive from the top down through that hole. We're going to go around the pointer finger yarn from the right, and then we're going to slip through that X and tug. Remember, we don't want to tug too tight since you do have to work through this first stitch, but just snug enough. Again, to the left of the thumb, under both yarns, and we're going to dive from the top down through that hole. We're going to go to the right of the pointer finger yarn, and then through the X of the thumb. Make sure everything is not tangled. To the left of the thumb, under both yarns. Dive down from the top of that hole through the thumb, going to the right, grab the yarn that's around the pointer finger, and then slip between that X. To the left, under both yarns, dive down from that hole of the thumb, go to the right of the pointer finger and around, and then slip between that X and pull tight. So when you're doing it at speed, it's a little more fluid, I feel. I kind of see it as like a little mini dance because you're just weaving around the different yarns, but it's still stretchy enough. Your cast on edge is going to look very similar to a long tail, but you have an extra bump there. The back is going to look very similar to the long tail as well. You have your garter stitch bumps and you have that extra ridge at the bottom. So again, this is the twisted German cast on. Make sure you watch this video again if you need some extra help, and I will see you guys next time.